Hey, today I'm going to share with you 3 self-assessments to help you become more quickly self-aware. Now, why would you want to do that? You might be trying to figure out what job you want to be in, what career. So this is one way. The other one is that you might be in a career that you have it's going to be almost impossible to switch. And so you got to figure out, well, what am I passionate about so that you could be more happy in the career that you're in. And you never know, you might end up changing your career or modifying it because you have this new superpower of knowing who you really are. And so I'm going to share the top 3, and I'm going to bet that you've never heard of number 3. So hi, I'm Susan Nascimento. I'm a corporate executive. I'm a top 1% graduate from Pepperdine in management and leadership. I'm a mother of school-age twins, and I've been a wife for almost 20 years. So before I got my master's degree, I thought I knew who I was, but I really found out right away that I didn't. I was going in circles quite a bit, kind of chasing money and trying to find something that would make me happy. And so in management and leadership, that degree, it's a people degree where you're learning how to manage teams, how to manage enterprises. And so how you do that first is figure out who you are. How do you manage and get a vision for yourself? How do you change yourself? And when you can do that inside, then you can do that for others outside. So we took a lot of self-assessments. I'd say at least a dozen that I can think of. I've taken a lot of other assessments through executive life coaches that I've had. And so what I'm going to do is share you my top 3. There wasn't really one that was the silver bullet. Each one kind of looks at it from a different layer and a different, it's like peeling back the onion. Each one kind of gives you an aha moment of yourself. So the first one was the Myers-Briggs type instrument, so MBTI. And this is the most popular. Almost everybody that's a leader takes this one. So what this one will tell you is how do you get your energy? So that's either you're an introvert or an extrovert. If you're an introvert like me, I get my energy being alone. I like to be with people, but I can't handle being with people for long periods of time. My energy gets zapped. Whereas my husband is a full-on extrovert to the highest degree possible. And so he doesn't like to be alone. He likes to be with people. That's how he gets his energy. Now, we both know this about ourselves, and so we're respectful of what we need. This will also tell you how you process information, how do you make decisions, and how you manage your time. So I manage my time very logically. It's 1, 2, 3, and I know what the end in mind. I reverse engineer. I'm very detailed about it. My husband will typically get everything done at the last minute. He always gets it done. I have another best friend that's like that, always gets it done. I don't know how. I couldn't work under that kind of stress. So what I learned, that aha moment for me in that one, was that I was no longer ashamed to call myself an introvert. I just accepted that, and I was proud of it, actually. And I learned how to step away from the time when I needed time for myself. Also, I learned to value what others brought to the table. So that was a good help. So the second one is the Strength Finders 2.0 assessment. Now, this one, you think about any of a job, if you've ever taken a job review before, gotten a job review, or if you've given one, you'll typically go, hey, you're really great at coming up with new ideas. You are really good at relationship building, but you can't seem to finish anything. You can't really get anything done. You have these ideas, but you can't really execute on it. And so you're really doing good on the first 2, but what you really need to do, we really need to work on getting you to execute stuff. And so then you end up talking the whole review about this area that you're not good at, and then all the development plans are around these opportunities for improvement. So Strength Finders tells you what your top 5 strengths are, and then their premise is that individuals shouldn't be well-rounded, but teams should be. So what I do now is I just avoid the weaknesses and I double down on my strengths. So in this situation, if that were me in that kind of review, I would tell that person, you know what, executing is not your strength, that there's nothing wrong with that, but my gosh, you're fantastic at finding ideas. You can connect us with relationships that other people can't do. So, I'm going to take this person on this in our team that's really good at executing, and they can take your ideas and they can carry that ball all the way to the end of the goal line. And man is a powerhouse. That would be amazing. And actually, we should figure out how to use, you're really good at ideas and brainstorming and seeing into the future. Let's try to figure out ways that we can use that more. Now, that person would probably be energized by that conversation versus me talking about how they need to learn how to be so detailed in executing the idea that they wouldn't be engaged anymore. They would be unhappy in their job, and they wouldn't know why. I mean, they would kind of know, but not really, and they would start looking for something else. So for the aha moment that I got when I took that was I found out my number one strength was I was a learner. And that's a no duh for me because I'm obsessed with learning and implementing learning. But what I found was I'm not really using it a lot in my job right now. So I rewrote my job descriptions like at least 50%. I said to my boss, hey, you know what? I want to do application security training. I want to be able to learn about something, and then I want to teach other people, because when I teach, I learn. And I said, this is going to make me happy, but more so it's going to help the company. I think I could improve these metrics, the bottom line, because you got to sell it, for your boss. She was like, absolutely, totally on board. And you know what? I couldn't wait to get up and go to work on the days when I knew I was doing training, because I had to learn for it. And so I loved my job. It also was a big aha moment for me and what my life purpose was. The third one, and the one I think that you haven't heard of, and it's my favorite, is called the Enneagram. And so what I loved about this is that this not only told you, it tells you 9 types. So you're one of those 9 types. And honestly, when you read your type, most people cry or kind of cringe because it says you so well at an emotional soul level. And so this one tells you how you are at your best, but it also tells you a lot about how you are at your worst, and how those behaviors show up, the kinds of things that you're thinking unconsciously. And when you see it written, it's kind of, you get tingles, and, a little teary. It also has so many flippin' layers to it, that you don't need to know all those layers, but when you do, like there's one thing in there where it'll tell you what's your basic fear. And their premise is that the basic fear is something that everybody has from their childhood that carries into their life. So for example, my basic fear was this, something of the fear of not having guidance, not having support. And knowing my childhood, that's correct. So what happens is when I feel that way at all in the workplace, in my personal life, then I act as my unhealthy self. I start to sabotage myself. So becoming self-aware of that, I started to self-correct, knowing that, you know what, I'm just probably operating out of this basic fear, but let's really think, let's quantify if this is really true or not. I was sabotaging myself, not getting invited to certain meetings of power and influence. Within 6 months, that changed, and I started to get into those kinds of groups of influence. I got a promotion. I really truly believe it's because all of these different self-assessments. So what I want to offer up to you is, to take these self-assessments. The MBTI is about $50, but if you click on the link in this post, there'll be a yellow box that you can get. You can click on it, and I'll give you a link to a free one that is just as good in my research. Also gives you a little bit more details. And then I also give you 10 more tips that you can do for post-assessment. What can you do now that you got this information? What's the so what? And then also, please share this with someone if you think they're in this, they're not happy in their job and they're trying to figure out what they want in their life. And that's, in order to find your purpose, you need to start with becoming more self-aware. So thank you so much, and peace out. Bye.